Well, hello, Smoky Valley. Today is July 28th. Probably the single most frequent question I get asked is when's school going to start and what will it look like? Well, we've already talked to you about school starting on September 3rd. We've delayed that 2 full weeks. We hope to see your kids in person. That's what it will look like. There will be a lot of protocol in place. And that reopening plan will slowly be released to the public um, next week, probably around the 3rd or 4th of August. The board will not approve that officially until the 10th. So it's pretty much some of the basic stuff that we've talked about, bringing your kids in with the masking and the temperature checks, the social distancing, and the hand washing. Those four major articles will be in place as we try to keep our students and our staff safe. Um, you'll be seeing bits and pieces of that. Um, Now, today we spent a great deal of time working on a hybrid plan. You're going to hear more about that later because you're going to want to know about that. That is probably going to be a phase two. As the governor had a press conference yesterday, and the possibility of moving us back into a phase two would limit the amount of people we can get together in one place. So we have to be together with a hybrid plan that we want you to know about. Um, and so we'll be giving you as much specific information as we can on that should we go to a hybrid. Now, there's a possibility we would move from phase one, which is students in the building with face-to-face instruction. Phase two would be that hybrid. They may be attending a portion of the time, and we have a pretty good handle on what we're going to do there. And phase three would be students at home on a virtual model. And the last thing we want to do is move to a phase three. We've been there before. It's not the best way to deliver instruction. We need to see our kids. So we're kind of excited about if we have to go to that, what we can still provide for your children. We'll talk more about that in a week. But the second most frequent question I get asked is, what about activities? My kid loves athletics, and we're talking about grades 7 through 12. What's going to happen there? I want to see my kid play. We don't want to deny our children of this opportunity because many of you understand the value of sports and athletic competitions, what it does for our children, the teamwork component, bringing those kids together. Well, we were waiting till today because today the Kansas State High School Activities Association had a board meeting to what they did was they presented another option to sports to delay some of the start, and the executive board voted 5-4 not to support the recommendation to delay sports. So what we will see is sports and athletics will all begin as scheduled. If you've been watching that, August 17th, we will begin official sports practice, and our schedule as we know it will be in place. Now, there will be some modifications to that schedule because there are some recommendations that we will still follow from the Kansas State High School Activities Association. But August 17th is the first day of practice, and they have some guidelines and considerations. I know Kai Swisher already posted this evening, sent some information out to our coaches within the last hour, and you may have already seen it, that the motion was not upheld to change the sports program. You can go to the Kansas State High School Activities Association website, and on the front you can see the risk mitigation considerations as well as the considerations for return to school activities. There are some changes that we will try to follow, including some specific recommendations about, let's say, for instance, volleyball. Um, we're trying to downplay um, groups getting together in tournament play. That brings a lot of different schools together. Um, there are some considerations for sideline players in football. Every one of the sports is addressed in here. So if you want to go to the High School Activities Association website, you can see just on the front page, you can click on the risk mitigation considerations. And let's say you have a daughter that's playing in tennis. So you can look at tennis and see what some of those recommendations are, and we're going to try to follow those as best we can. I appreciate the work of Kai Swisher and Garrett, our activities directors, who are working with their coaches right now to address those issues specifically. But bottom line is, I just want to bring that to you about the sports and athletics. Yes, school will continue, and we need to focus on the academics and keeping our kids safe. But some of you have been holding your breath, waiting to see what Keisha was going to do with this, and now we know it was not supported to delay it. I think some of those considerations were, let's get going with sports, let's get the kids involved, and maybe they can have a few activities before something really happens and the numbers start escalating and we're ordered to be at stay at home. And if we delay it too long, the state of Kansas might get too bad that our kids won't be able to have any competitions. So that's all I have for today. We thank you for joining us. Some of you have expressed interest in that, and so I think that's a big piece of news today. Again, we'll be talking to you next week about more details about what our reopening plan is going to look like. And we'll talk to you more about that hybrid model. You have to be prepared for that. We don't plan to start with that, but we'll see you next week. Thank you all for joining us.